Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Discover Your Spirit with me, your host, Brenda Reading. How is everyone tonight out there in the cold? It's just so cold, isn't it? Um, I just want to talk a little bit about tonight. Tonight, let's just start that all over again. I just want to talk tonight a little bit about Lilydale. All right. I want to talk about Lilydale and also how our beliefs in Lilydale help us to get through the troubled times that we're in right now, if we want to call them that. Okay. Um, Being a spiritualist, which Lilydale is made up of people that live there that have the belief of spiritualism, we have to talk about our vibration because everything is energy, and our vibration is what makes us able to interact with the spirit world, our energy. Okay. So, what I want to say about that is with everything that's going on recently out there in the world around us, our energy levels, our vibration, all right, it is so important that we try to take care of our vibration, our energy. And everything has a vibration to it, even things that look like they're still, right? Like our tables, our chairs, pieces of furniture, things that are out, a tree. It's still made up of things that either once did vibrate or does vibrate now. So what I want to say about that is they have proven that in order to avoid getting sick, whether it's the common cold or the flu or something like that, what helps is to keep our vibration elevated. And how do we do that? We do that through many different ways. We do that through the food that we eat. It has been discovered that food that has been processed and put in cans has no vibrational energy to it and does not help actually to raise our vibration. Raw foods such as fruits and vegetables and things of that nature, even dried foods, contains more vibration to help keep us well than canned foods do. So that's just a simple little thing. What we eat helps to raise our vibration. Also, our environment. What are you doing during the day? Who are you around? Are you around people that are happy and uplifting and have a nice vibration of their own? Because as you know, everything is connected. We're all vibrating because we're all made up of molecules and atoms. So we think everything is separate, but it really isn't. We're all bumping into each other because of these molecules and atoms. It's really kind of funny when you think about it. So what I want to say is the people around you and your environment makes a difference too about how to keep our vibration higher. Our thoughts. All right. What are we thinking about during the day? Are we worrying? Are we concerned? Are we sad? Those type of thoughts and emotions, they help to bring our vibration down. And sometimes people say, if you don't laugh about it, you're going to cry. And I say that too sometimes, like if I'm overtired or if I'm just too busy and I don't know what's going on, I might say, if I don't laugh, I'm going to cry, right? But there is evidence that laughing raises our vibration. And it doesn't only raise the vibration within ourselves, it raises the vibration of the people around you that you are laughing with. If you've heard, laughing is contagious, right? It really is. So I like really silly things. And I think it's because, you get used to thinking about so many things during the day that something silly just sets me off, right? It's probably why I really enjoy being around my little grandkids, right? Because we all know kids can be really silly. And as we get older, we can be really silly too, right? So, at least my grandson thinks it's really funny to tell me that I'm really old. He gets a real good kick out of that. So, we have a laugh. But anyway, so there's a reason I'm talking about all this, okay? Because not only does your vibration inside yourself, around you, the people that you're with, your thoughts, because we know thoughts have power, right? They do. Our words that we say affect our health. But what I want to talk about too is, as spiritualists and anybody that works with energy, we know that we have to raise our vibration in order to meet the vibration of the spirit loved ones that are on another plane. They're around us. They're right here. Some say that they're just in the next room, right? But they are vibrating at a higher level. They do not have the physical denseness, right? Remember high school or, science density, right? They don't have the density of a body. So they're vibrating at a higher level. So one of the things when people come to me, and they're very full of grief, and we all experience grief, and we all deal with it and manage it and live with it, because you have to move through it. It's not something that you can just, it's grief is tough, right? But it's a lower vibration. So my clients will say, gee, I haven't heard from my mother, or I haven't heard from my dad. And, I'm just so sad. And it's like, I try to explain to them, I don't go in depth like we're talking here about all the molecules and atoms and vibration and all that. But what I do tell them is that your grief, your lower vibration, makes it harder for them to meet your energy, for the connection to happen. So, and you think, well, what am I supposed to do about that, right? I'm so sad. I miss my friend. I miss my husband. I miss my mom. What am I supposed to do about that, right? I'm going to give you a little helper here. And you're going to laugh at me, but it works, okay? I tell people, they'll say, well, when is this going to get better? When am I going to feel better? And I say, when you can have a thought about your spirit loved one that makes you laugh, when you can remember something funny that happened between the two of you, or that happened to them, or that they thought was funny, and it brings a chuckle to you, or it brings a smile to your face. And for that instant, you're not in the depths of grief that we all feel so intensely, right? In our heart chakra, in our stomach area, right down to our bones, right? It seems to just take right over and consume us. But when you reach that point where you can have a moment of laughter about your loved one, you have turned the corner into living with it instead of living in it. Because we're always going to miss our people. We're always going to love them. And I remember my mom would cry 10, 15 years after my grandmother passed, and at a drop of a hat, so that big love, big loss, right? But my mom has been on the other side now for 12 years coming up, and I can't believe how fast it's gone. In some respects, it just feels like yesterday that she left. And in other respects, it feels like a million years since I've been able to sit down and have a cup of coffee with my mom, or watch a TV show, or take her to the casino, or go, to something that she wants to do. It just feels like it was just yesterday, but a million years ago. So I understand how hard it is when we lose somebody. At the same time, my mom was a funny lady, and she did a lot of silly things. And I realized, being able to focus on those things and to remember a funny moment You can just feel it lift. You can feel it lift out of your chest. It brings a smile to your face, and you're able to appreciate them in those moments instead of grieving them so much. So, what I want to say is, if you are in this depth of grief, right? If it's got you by the, short hairs, as they say, and I don't know, is that allowed on here? If it has you in its grasp, right? Take a moment, sit down, and try to remember something funny from your past with your loved one. It will help, all right? So I wanted to talk about that. And also, with everything that's going on today, right? It's very easy to turn on the news and be in one mood, and then you've shifted to another like that. Because most of the time, the news doesn't report all the funny things that are going on in the world and all the sweet, happy things. And there are those things. We normally are presented with a lot of lower level vibration. So if you have to find a show or a YouTube video or a TikTok that makes you laugh just to take a break from life, right? Take your break, have that thing and have a good laugh for a minute. It will change everything from that moment on in your day. And even if it's only a change for a couple hours or an hour or 15 minutes, it's still that laughter, that smile has had a chance to raise your vibration. Because folks, right now there's so many people out there that have the flu and colds and all kinds of stuff. It's like we need that extra little lift in our vibration to help us. So that's my little talk for tonight about vibration and laughter. Because if you can find a little bit of laughter in your day, your vibration is going to raise and you will feel better for it, emotionally, mentally, and physically. So that's my little talk about that. I also want to say that in the last 6 weeks, I've kind of been wearing a little different hat in addition to my normal things that I do in my life. And I have been working on the program for Lilydale Assembly. And I have some people that I have been working with that are absolutely fantastic. And I have to say, in a few weeks here, you will be able to start looking at the website and seeing some of the fantastic classes that are being brought to you this summer at Lilydale Assembly. You will be able to see some of the beautiful season highlights that are coming, people that are coming from all over. We've got the monks coming, the Tibetan monks. They're coming the first weekend. They're opening our season. And they build this beautiful mandala out of all different colors of sand. And that's open in the fire hall for everybody to go look at. It's beautiful. They do ceremonies. They do blessings. And it's just so interesting, It's like most times you have to see something like that, you might have to travel thousands of miles. But no, you can just come an hour south of Buffalo, down the 90, or up 79 from Erie or Pittsburgh or wherever you're coming from, and you get a chance to see this culture of the Tibetan monks. It's a beautiful thing, and I highly, highly recommend it. And I will say, we have some wonderful presenters coming this year. We have a couple coming from the United Kingdom. They're very excellent teachers in mediumship, and they have a documentary that has been award-winning over in the United Kingdom. And they're going to be with us for like 4 days teaching all these wonderful classes, and then they're going to show their documentary in the auditorium. It's Carrie McLeod and Philip Dykes, and you can look them up online, but in a couple weeks here, it might be less than that, you'll be able to see their faces and go look them up and say, hey, I might like to learn how the Brits do it. Because, there's American mediumship and there's English mediumship, and it's all, loving of spirit and all bringing in spirit loved ones. But there's some nuances, okay? They're just a little bit different between the mediums over in England and Scotland and the mediums that live here. And it might be very interesting for you to take a class from them and see the differences and learn more or something different. That is just a couple of the things. I mean, we have the wonderful Lisa Williams, internationally known for decades. She will be doing a lovely auditorium event for us and a week-long class at the end of season. We have Danny and Brinkley, the near-death experience gentleman. He will be coming. We have Travis Walton and Whitley Stryber, who had alien abductions. They're going to both at the same time be on the stage in the auditorium to talk to you all and take your questions. Wouldn't it be great if you could ask a question of someone who's had an alien abduction, who's written books about it and movies have been made about it? That's coming to Lilydale this summer. Very exciting. There's so much I can't even. We have a internationally known author who was from Western New York, Wendy Corsi Staub. She has written oodles of book, best-selling books. She has a series that are written, the characters, the stuff happens in Lilydale. And she's going to be on stage for you. I mean, there's just so much. And that doesn't even begin to touch the weekly activities that you get for your gate pass fee and everything else. So in a couple weeks, I will be doing a more in-depth show for all of you so that I can tell you some of the things that are coming and a little more information. But it's been my privilege and pleasure to be working on this program. And the closer we get to the end of it, the more excited I get. So just wanted to share a little bit with you with that. All right. So as a spiritualist, we believe in the continuity of life. We believe that when you take your last breath, that's not it and that's all done, goodbye, lights out. No, we believe that our essence, our soul, what makes us us, right, for lack of a better scientific explanation, goes on, all right? It like Einstein said, energy cannot be created or destroyed. There's always a balance. So our energy, even though our physicalness may stop in the moment, right? Our soul, our feelings, and I really believe that how we feel about people goes with our soul to the other side, because that's one of the things I do as a registered medium in Lilydale is I prove that this is so by bringing you your loved ones from the other side with evidence. It's evidence. It's proving that, yes, this is my Uncle Jim that I'm talking to, and he used to do this, and one of his legs was longer than the other, or maybe he had a goofy walk, or maybe he did some kind of wonderful scientific paper, and I'm telling you about it. Things there's no way I would know, but the spirit is telling me, right? And my job is to just be the communicator, is to receive the information and give it to you, because they're not there to see me. They're there to see you. So what I like to do on the show here with the last, 20 minutes, whatever we have, 25 minutes, is I like to do some mini messages with you people to show you, how I work. However, I will say, picking out a name on a computer screen, right, and feeling into the energy, it's all energy. It's kind of like a satellite, it's like we ask for the information and your spirit loved one knows we're asking and they send it back down to us. That's why it works. That's why you can do a reading on a phone for someone. That's why you can do a reading. Somebody can send you an email. There's their name. This is where they live. You can touch into that energy and you can send them a reading. Same with healing. We don't need to be right in front of the person to send someone healing energy, because that energy goes through the waves of the universe. So, with all that being said, it is a little different than having someone right in front of you or Zoom. I love Zoom. Um, I find that my readings on Zoom are just as effective and just as informational as having someone right in front of me. So, with that, I am going to go back now and look at all of you people that have given me comments through my little spiel here tonight. I hope you're all doing well and keeping warm because this cold needs to go away for a little bit. Yes. Hi, Julie. Hi, Edie. How are you? Penny, Elizabeth, Laura, my friend Laura, you are a happy person. And you know what I have to say? When I'm around you, you raise my vibration. So I just want to acknowledge that. Julie. Yes. Let's see who else I have. Lori Mason, Julie Kiss. How are you? Lots of people here. Liz, how you doing? Virginia, hi, lady. It's nice to see you on here. So, anyways, thanks for listening to my little speech. If you would like a little message here, go ahead and say yes, and then I will see who I'm attracted to, and then I will tell you what I'm feeling and hearing and seeing clairvoyantly, and but be ready to let me know that you are here, okay? All right, I think I have Andrea Wazalewski. I think that's how you pronounce it. Andrea Novak Wazalewski or Wazalewski, not sure. If you would like me to give you a message here, why don't you just type it in the comments and then I will link into your energy and see what we can get. I feel like this is what I'm going to do it anyways, just because I want to. So, Andrea, there you are. Wonderful. All right. Let's just take a minute. You know, it's nice to just say a little prayer and link to the energy. Andrea, I feel like I have a man here in spirit with you, and I feel like he is acknowledging that you have been working very hard. Okay. And I don't mean just, I don't mean to say just, but I'm not referring to your, it feels like you've been trying to improve your life and improve, I don't know if you've been trying to get a promotion at work, you know, or if you're trying to move up. All right. But I feel like this man in spirit, and I feel like I want to go, I feel like I'm on dad's side of the family with him. And I feel like I'm going back at least one generation. And I feel like he had a sense of humor, and he might make little comments here and there. All right. He doesn't feel like he's a big talker or a real chatty. You know, he doesn't feel like that to me. And I feel like, but he might make a little comment here and there. And I feel like he usually was one to observe, and kind of things went on around him. Like if he would be in the house, you know, there'd be other people there, maybe the women in the family and the kids and all this, and he'd be taking it in, and he might make a couple comments here and there, but I don't feel like he's like the big energy in the room. Do you understand? But I do feel like he's got a smile on his face, and I feel like he's acknowledging you as a little girl, and I feel like you brought much laughter to him. Okay, and I think he liked to laugh, so I'm not surprised that my first person is someone that liked to laugh, because we just spent 20 minutes talking about it. So let's see. So Andrea has a grandpa feel to him, but let's get some more evidence besides his personality. All right. I feel like he's putting on this big jacket. All right. So I feel like I don't feel like he worked in an office or something like that. He's putting on a big jacket to leave the house, and so I feel like, you know, he was either outside or in a factory type situation or something like that, where he would have needed a big jacket. All right. It's not like he's putting on a dress coat with a tie and a shirt or something like that. So he feels like that to me. And I also want to say, I'm looking at his face, and I feel like he did have hair, but I feel like it was thinning, and it did get to a whitish color. All right. But I feel like his nose, right? And his nose may have been a little more pronounced as I look at him. And he's just very proud man. Okay. I feel like his heritage, where he came from. All right. Very proud man. So, Andrea, does any of this make any sense to you? You could type in the comments. But back to the message for this man. All right. I also feel like this. He's back on the nose. I don't know why. And he's talking about the smells of the food in the house. All right. So I feel like he really loved his food. And not that I feel like he was big and huge and overweight, but I feel like he worked hard all day, and there was lovely food being made in his home. And he's acknowledging that. And he's just, yeah, he had a really good schnoz, is what he's saying. So I don't know. He's kind of funny. Anyhow, so the message to you from this man is it makes sense. Yes, it does. Okay, good. The message to you is, honey, you have been really working hard. And I feel like sometimes he says you might have a little setback, like he's showing me like you may have had to stop something that you're working on for a little bit, like you got a little sidetracked. But he's saying it's okay. He says, just pull up your pants and get your boots on and keep going, and this is what he would have done. All right. Like if there was a problem, he would figure it out, and then he would move on. He kind of didn't let things stand in the way. So I feel like he's here tonight to give you encouragement, to don't get down about it. Just take a deep breath, maybe think a little bit and move forward. Okay. So just know that he's rooting for you. So I hope that makes sense to you. All right. And I'm going to leave you with all your love, who I think is your grandpa, with that. All righty. So let's see if I can find another person that I'm drawn to on the list. Okay. Let's see. Judy Speckman. Judy Speckman. All right. Are you still here? I know that was a little bit ago since you wrote Judy Speckman. There you are. Judy Jake Speckman. Are you still here? Because I'd like to give you a little message here. There you go. Oh, wait. Wonderful. Wonderful, Judy. Okay. So, Judy, I feel like I have a lady here in spirit for you. And I want to put glasses on her face. I feel like her hair used to be a brownish color, kind of got a little gray as she aged, but it's kind of wispy. All right. It's not straight. It's a little wispy, and I don't know if she got her hair done or not. But there's a little bit of, there's form to it, a little bit of curl. I feel like I'm on mom's side of the family with her, and I don't feel like this is mom. I feel like this, I'm hearing like sister, like maybe mom's sister or grandma's sister. So that's what I feel. I feel like I'm looking at that area. And I feel like she wanted to be included in everything. All right. And she also had usually something to say. Okay. I feel like she talks pretty quickly, and I feel like she's wanting to, be in the conversation and be where everybody was and chit chat. Okay. Her eyes look a little darker to me. So I don't know if she had brown eyes or dark hazel or something, but when I look in her face, I feel like her glasses, and then they're a little darker. Okay. I feel like I want to go down into the stomach area with her. So I feel like she might have had some issues in the gastrointestinal area, okay, that she dealt with, and she may have made it public knowledge that she dealt with these issues, okay? So because I think she was a talker. So Judy, would you want? Does this make sense to you? Do you have a lady in your family that this sounds like? Because, um, and I feel like she liked to go here and then go there. She didn't stay home. You know what I mean? She was someone that would bounce about. Do you understand? And she might just go here and pick something up and go there and drop something off. And I feel like she knew a lot of different people. Okay. Oh no, yeah, it doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. All right. And I feel like she feels like the kind of person that she always had a story. All right. She always had a story. And it might be about somebody's personal stuff. Do you want to say? I don't want to call her a big gossip, but she always had a story. She always had something to talk about. So, anyways, I feel like. So, why did she pop in? Right? Why did she pop in, Judy, for you? Especially if you're not necessarily knowing who it is at this moment. But I'm going to give you the message, all right? And then think about all the things that we said, okay? I feel like she lost her husband. I feel like he passed before she did. And she might have been alone for, I'm feeling like 10 years or so, because I'm looking at this little meter on that. And so I feel like that could have been a situation, but she feels like she's the sister, so whether it's grandma's sister or mom's sister, or, she would have, filled her time with family and friends after that. So I feel, all right. So what's the message, lady? Why'd you come to see Judy? All right. Okay. So she is talking about how you also like to talk to people, okay? And you like to help people, and you're very good at listening to other people, okay? This She was a chatter. She says you're a good listener, okay? All right, that's correct. Grandma's sister was a widow for 10 years. Okay, so that's who we have then. And you know what? She knew we didn't know who it was, so she gave us that information that she was alone for 10 years and it was a sister, so that now we know. So that's who we're talking about. But that's just a little teaching there for you people. But anywho, what I want to say is she's saying you're a very good listener, okay? But she's talking about giving everything away in your cup. Do you understand? Like you're very good at pouring everybody's coffee and, giving things to other people, but she's talking about how she would like you to be a little more giving to yourself. Okay? And I think this might be a characteristic of the women in the family. You guys are all givers and you're always helping other people. And she would see that because she's part of the family. And I feel like she's like, yeah, it comes by naturally. So she just wants you to be a little more aware of how you can give to yourself. Okay, Judy, I hope that makes sense to you. Because she says you're pouring out your cup to everybody else. Okay, that's what she's saying. So I'm going to leave that with your grandma's sister with lots of love. All right. Okay. Ooh, I just got chills on that. All right, interesting. Okay, I hope it resonates for you. And you listen if it does, okay? Because she's kind of like this, all right? Like she would be the one to sit there and tell you, she wouldn't mince words, okay? All right. Yes, thank you so much. You are so very welcome. Thank your great aunt, right? That's who this is. All right. So let's go back so I can see Rodney Scott. Rodney, All right. It's, you know what? I have to say this. We don't get a whole lot of men on here. It's mostly women. And so it's wonderful to have a male on here wanting to listen and, get a message. So Rodney, I feel like I want to give you a message if that's okay. I have a man in spirit here for you. If he's not a brother, he's like a brother. Okay. He comes in and he's the kind of guy that, how sometimes guys would grab each other and maybe give you a noogie on the head or rough you up or something like that. That's how he feels to me. He feels like the relationship between the two of you was like that, that he would just be like, I'm going to do this or I'm going to punch you a little bit or something like that. And I feel because he had a lot of love, he just was a little awkward in how to show it. All right. And so this was his way, by doing a little rough up and stuff like that. Cause, especially in our generation and maybe even a few younger, guys didn't go around saying, love you, man. They do now, but they didn't then. So this is what I want to say about this man who is here. Okay. Now, when I say, if not a brother like a brother, doesn't mean he has to be a brother or a brother-in-law. It means that he could have been someone that was a super close friend. Okay. He feels like someone that genuinely would have cared for you very deeply. Okay. I want to talk about a heart problem with this man. All right. And I feel like, I don't know that he even knew he had it. All right. This is what I want to talk about. And and it feels like it was a rather quick thing in relationship to, like, it wasn't like a 2-year sickness or a 5-year disease or something like that. I feel like this was a rather quicker thing. All right. And I feel like you knew this man for quite some time because he's taken me back, and I feel like I'm hearing a lot of revving of motors. So I don't know if that's like a car with a zooped up engine, or if this is a motorcycle, or if it's farm equipment that's really loud, but it feels like I'm around a lot of that stuff with this man. All right. So I feel like that's a piece of evidence for you so you can figure out who he is. All right. For some reason, the name Michael just popped into my head. I am not the best with names, I will say that. So this could be a connecting name, someone that he knew that you knew, or someone that you know that's in your family or something like that. So for some reason, I got the name Michael, so I'm giving that to you. Now, what's the message here? He just called you buddy. All right, he called you buddy. So the message for you, Rodney, I feel like he's showing you to me sitting at a table or a desk or something, and you got the pencil and you're frustrated. You're really trying to put the pencil to something. It's like you're trying to figure out. I don't know if these are figures that we're looking at, or if you're trying to decide about, doing a project, or if this is your work or whatever. But he's showing me that, and this is what I want to say. He's saying, go with your gut. It's like one thing might look better than the other one, but one feels better to you. All right. So I don't know if any of this is making sense to you, Rodney, but I'm just going to give it to you. Okay. And you can let me know if it does in the comments or not, up to you. But he's like, you have a feeling with this, he's like, listen to it, go with your gut. All right. Even though the brain might be telling you one thing and maybe the numbers look a little better over here, he's telling you to go with your gut. So he feels like he might have been a little bit bigger than you. All right. In size, not sure. All right. But he's kind of burly is what I want to say. I feel like I've got big shoulders and big arms. All right. So yeah. So that is either your really good friend brother like a brother. All right, Rodney. So I hope that was helpful. Um, and if it was really spot on, I hope it didn't scare you because you just popped in on this. Sometimes it happens. All right. Yes, I have been journaling and putting thoughts together. Thank you very much. Do you know who this man might be? Because he's yeah, he's like go with your gut, all right? So, um yeah. All right. So let's move on. Thank you for the feedback, Rodney, by the way. And let's I'm going to do another one here. We have time. Thank you all for stopping in. I really appreciate it. Um, mm, mm, mm. Let's see. Let's see. Um, Robin Richard Sears. Hello from Ohio. It says Robin Richard Sears. Are you still here? Are you here, Robin? Let me know that you're still here. I'm going to wait a half a second because this is probably going to be my last one. So I want to make sure. Oh, questioning. Oh, we got Rodney back. Questioning who it could be, but there are two men. All right. Robin, you're here. I'll be right with you in a minute. I want to tell you, I feel like one of the men had a little bit of a receding hairline. Okay. Him. All right. That's what I just messed up my hair. Good. A little bit of receding hairline. Okay. So hopefully that helps you decide which guy it is. Okay. All right. Okay. Robin. All right. Let me. Hmm. Robin, I feel like I have a woman here for you. And this lady, she feels very soft to me. Okay. Like when I feel her energy, um, she may have even been an intuitive and done some type of healing work or some type of work like this. I feel like there's an aura around her, and this is going to sound like a real, sometimes you get, I want to call it a goofy reading because, sometimes you can watch people do readings and there isn't much evidence. They talk about this and that. But this woman has a beautiful presence to her. All right. And there's a softness. And I feel like when she spoke, like on here, sometimes when I get the connection with spirit, my speaking gets quicker and I talk faster. Okay. I feel like this woman had a slow and deliberate tone to how she talked. All right. She took her time, and I feel like she was very good at helping people. But she just has this, and I feel like she would have had long hair at one point. I'm seeing her, and she's kind of thin and kind of spiritual in nature. And then I'm asking her how she knows you. All right. I feel like I'm on mom's side of the family with this woman. Okay, Robin. And I feel like I want to put a lot of flowers around her. I feel like she really appreciated nature. I feel like I want to talk about growing my own things, whether they were pots of flowers or vegetables or whatever. She seems very in tune with nature, okay? And I want to take her shoes off and have her walk barefoot, okay? So this is the whole kind of persona about this lady. I feel like she would have liked art, like I think she may be painting or drawing or something like that. Okay. Do you know who this could be, Robin? Have you figured out who this might be yet? Um, and this is what I want to say to you, okay? I feel like she is saying that there is a creative side to you like her. And I feel like she's saying that it has been stuffed. I am kind of describing you. Okay, well, I'm going to give you the rest of this message, all right? And she is saying that this thing, this creative side of you has been stuffed in the closet for a while. Do you understand? It's like she's saying you have to find that time to do that creative, because it's a talent. Not only is it creative and it's fun for you, but and I don't know if it's painting. Yes. Okay. So you understand what I'm talking. Do you paint, Robin, by any chance, or do something with color? Because I got color in front of me, and all kinds of color. All right. And so I still feel like I've got a lady on mom's side of the family. All right. And this creative side to her, you paint and you're an organic gardener. Okay, I'll take it. Um, but I feel like this woman, whether you knew it or not, in her younger days, she would have done some of these same things. Okay, acrylic painting. Thank you. All right, but I feel like you haven't been doing this stuff. Do you understand? It's been in the closet for a bit, and I feel like this lady is talking about, it's such a big piece of who you are. You know what I mean? Like for some people, it's like they're a writer. If they don't write, they don't feel well. It's like you need to do this stuff because you have a lot of feelings. All right. She says you're a big feeler. All right. And your feelings come out in this painting that you do. All right. Very I got lots of color. So I feel like you like to use a lot of color. All right. So the gist of this whole message is this woman, she has it's similar. All right. She's got some similar interests from back, and she's just encouraging you to get back to this thing that you do or did that you love to do because it's necessary for your well-being. Okay, it's not a nice to do, it's a have to do for you. Okay, and whether you take those things and you do anything with them doesn't make any difference. It's all about the emotions that you feel and the things that you're coming. You can get rid of all. Now, for me, I'm going to tell you something. All right. This brings me back to something in my own life. I took piano lessons for 10 years, Robin, and everybody else out there. Right. And my mother, our piano was in the basement, and that's where we had to go to practice. But my mother could tell what was going on with me by what I picked to play, how I played it, how long I played it. She knew exactly what was going on with me by music. All right. This is how it is for you with your painting. And I could come home from school. You know how high school was. I could go downstairs, be on that piano for 45 minutes. Whew, left it all there on the keys. You know how they say, leave it all on the field? Left it all on the keys, came upstairs, a different person. All right. This is how your painting, your creativity is for you. All right. This is your outlet for dealing with your life and everybody that's in it. So, what your person here, and I don't know if we've got like a great aunt or an aunt or something like that, is trying to say to you is get back to this stuff because it's for your own well-being. Okay. So now I sound like your mom, and I'm sorry about that, but this is what the message is for you tonight. Okay. And I really think that this message is good for a bunch of us, okay, that are on here listening tonight. It's, especially during these times we're living in, we need to find that thing that we can get our emotions out and feel better afterwards, whether it's painting or music or a hobby that you have. So I want to thank you, Robin, for coming here and letting us talk to someone in your family that you're not sure who it is, but they seem to know an awful lot about you. So think about this stuff. Maybe in a couple days, you'll find out who it was. But I just want to thank you for that, because she brought very good advice that I can heed myself, because I still have a piano and I haven't played it in years. So with that, I just want to thank all of you for stopping by tonight. And I'll be back in a couple weeks. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to share a lot more about the program with you. And just stay safe and try to remember to find something to laugh about. Until then, see you soon.